What's going on with me? I pondered to myself. Sitting in my room at my mum's home, I was getting disappointed with life. By that point, I was in my mid-20s, working a task I despised, getting a horrible check, attempting to excel, and spending time with careless companions. In my heart, I needed to live an uncommon life, yet my life around then was definitely not. I didn't have the profession, riches, dating life, or opportunity I wanted. Furthermore, despite the fact that I concentrated a ton of self-awareness by that point, I just couldn't get the data to click. Ultimately, I needed to really investigate myself and ask, was I the thoughtful person who could carry on with my fantasy life? The hard answer was, no. It was excruciating to concede, yet at that point, I was not the sort of individual who could get any of the things I longed for. That is the point at which I began observing a standard that changed how I moved toward my life and ultimately made a huge difference. A long time later, I was maintaining a fruitful business, composing for significant magazines, and moving to marvelous urban communities around the globe, which was all, fortunately, a smidgen more phenomenal than my past grim life. It transformed me, and I trust it changes yours as well. What you request from life, you should request from yourself. Need an extraordinary work? Become extraordinary at your particular employment. Need a shrewd accomplice? Become smart. Need to be an essayist? Become an individual who composes. Need goal-oriented companions? Become an aspiring individual. Need a marvelous life? Become an individual who does amazing things. The rundown goes on. The most ideal approach to get what you need in life is to make it from inside first. Be that as it may, over and over again, we frequently have it in reverse. For instance, I've had individuals disclose to me they need an accomplice who's fit as a fiddle, yet they haven't seen within an exercise center since George W. Bush was president. Or on the other hand, they need an accomplice who's fruitful, yet they continually fuss about their own impasse work. They need a lot of incredible things, however they don't matter those equivalent requests on themselves. Presently, there's nothing amiss with needing grand objectives and dreams. There's nothing amiss with reaching skyward throughout everyday life and doing things others may believe is unimaginable. All things considered, it's energized. Yet, until you disguise that amazing exercise, each one of those fantasies will stay simply that, dreams. They'll just be dreams you advise yourself that you could accomplish, on the off chance that you truly needed to, while desensitizing yourself from the difficult reality that you don't have those things now, and you most likely will not get them later on. All things considered, just interest from life what you're willing to place in. That is the genuine way to progress. As a man changes his own tendency, so does the disposition of the world change towards him. Gandhi. Certainly, there are uncommon exemptions. Maybe somebody lucks out or is in the perfect spot at the perfect time, and they get something far over their level without working for it. Yet that is not personal development, that is karma. The most ideal route is to turn out to be better and afterward receive all the benefits from your diligent effort. It resembles that Jim Rohn quote. After you become a tycoon, you can part with the entirety of your cash, since what's significant isn't the $1 million, what's significant is the individual you have become during the time spent turning into a mogul. Somebody could need to be a tycoon, yet until they put in the work, they're simply requesting something that they're not requesting from themselves. Accordingly, the chances of them arriving at their objective is damn close to nothing. What's more, regardless of whether they wound up getting $1 million winning the lottery, maybe, they'll presumably waste it, since they've never realized the stuff to be wealthy in any case. However, when they experience the way toward turning into a tycoon, and requesting it from themselves, they get an opportunity to accomplish that objective. Furthermore, more significantly, in the event that they get it, they'll have acquired undeniably more than cash. They'll have acquired the experience, astuteness, boldness, and certainty that really makes abundance in any case. Also, it's not simply bringing in cash, it very well may be anything: dating, professions, well-being, wellness, and so on. That is the reason I think some about the personal development stuff out there is somewhat shallow and excessively short-sighted. It's more about controlling circumstances to get what you need, not about how to develop yourself from inside to turn into the individual who naturally carries on with that life. For instance, retaining a lot of lines to cause yourself to appear to be cool. Perhaps a couple of expressions can work, however it would undeniably more compelling to simply carry on with a cool life and not need to stress over what lines to say. A few people, in any case, feel that is self-centered, I'm doing this for me. Or they'll get vexed, I need to do this work just to fabricate riches, find a fantasy line of work, discover a fantasy accomplice, or carry on with a magnificent life? Possibly, perhaps not. Life works strangely. Yet, on the off chance that you ace yourself, really at that time will you realize that you'll be genuinely deserving of the products of something else? What are the things you need throughout everyday life? What are your fantasies? Dare to reach skyward, yes, however have the lowliness to apply those elevated standards to yourself too. Since once you become the individual you need to be, you'll have the things you need to have. It wasn't until I embraced this life decide that I began to accomplish the delights of life I longed for. What's more, I trust it causes you do something very similar as well.